What makes you such a good fighter?
Um, I don't know. I'm just curious about it. I'm curious about it. It's never. I mean, it's in my head 24/7. There's nothing else I can think of. I don't think about nothing else. If that's it, I'm just curious, curiously fascinated with it, and I can't stop thinking about it. Everything I do in my life is is related to this. I don't do nothing else if it's not got to do it. Fine. You know what I mean? And that is why, you know what I mean? To be truly good at something, all you gotta do is show up.
Is that not unhealthy?
I don't know. Do I look unhealthy? Take a look at this physique. I'm in phenomenal shape in body and mind. For me, what's unhealthy is living an unhealthy life. For me, what's unhealthy is getting up and going through the same day every day of your life, 9 to 5 in an office or in a. That's unhealthy. That beats your mind. I don't work. I love what I do, and that's why I'm doing what I love. You know what I mean? That's why it's become a career for me because I love it. I love what I do. So I don't think it's unhealthy. I I, I feel good in my mind. I mean, it's my life. I'm enjoying the fruits of my hard work. Nobody works harder than me inside the octagon, outside the octagon. I am a workhorse. So I'm going to enjoy the benefits of this life. I'm going to get myself a big mansion in Las Vegas. I'm going to get the soft top cars. I'm going to bring my whole team out. I'm going to spoil them and give them this life. Big steaks that size. We're eating every single night each. We're eating good. We're living good. It's human nature. Some people will sit and take positivity from that. They will look at that and take inspiration and inspire. It will inspire them to go and push for that. Others will shell up and critique it and be negative towards it. But one thing is sure, those people will stay where they are. The people who take inspiration from it will rise up and also one day experience that life. So this is human nature. Some go one way, some go the other way. But I am enjoying my money, my hard-earned money that I have dedicated my life to. I was always getting pestered. What are you doing with your life? Are you doing this, doing that? They didn't know what it was. They didn't know what MMA was. They didn't know what none of this. They didn't know I could make a career out of it. As far as they were concerned, my man, I'm talking about. As far as they were concerned, I was just getting into a cage and fighting with some other guy. They didn't know nothing about it. No one did really, but I knew. You know what I mean? I knew. But and then I ended up getting a trade just to keep them quiet. Because I used to have a lot of fights with me dad. A lot of
What
fights.
trade did you get?
I ended up getting a trade as a plumber. Literally up in the back arse of nowhere up in Wicklow, the Wicklow Mountains. And funny enough, that site was one of the biggest sites in Europe. Kiltern, it was right at that skiing place. Huge, and now it's just abandoned. Now it's just deserted. So I used to go up there 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. I was on that M50. I used to have to walk to the N4. About half an hour from my house, wait for some Limerick guy that I didn't even know. He'd drive on the M4 and I had to flag him down. Nightmare, yeah. 2 hours down on the M50, 2 hours back. Literally 14-hour days. And I was the first year, so I had to go and do everything. I had to go to the shop. I had to go and get this and get that. So I always had trouble with that. And I was like, this isn't for me. This is not for me.
How long did you last?
I lasted 18 months doing it. But it was tough, you know. Just it wasn't a life for me, you know what I mean? And then John.
Good morning, family. Can y'all do me a favor and go share this link out with your friends, your family? Let people know that we are about to go live, direct, and in full effect, all right, with Travis Sherman. I'm super excited. I'm in the lab with him right now at the Atlanta Blockchain Center. And guys, I want to make sure that we pack this call out and make it as special as possible. So you guys go over to Discord, Telegram, your group chats with your grandmama and your mama. Let them know to hop on the call right now, because we're about to learn from a genius in this space. Let's go.
Said, because I was training with John as well at the time, and then John got in touch and says, I have a show, I'm running a show, I'd like to fight on it. And then that was it. I just packed it in, didn't show up. My dad used to come in and punch the head on me and like try and drag me out of bed. And I just wouldn't go. You know what I mean? I had an uproar for a good few years when I'm over, but and that was it. I just packed it in, quit, and then focused on training. I knew what was going to happen. I knew I was going to get here. They didn't. There's a lot of stressful years. I mean, a lot of tough times. But I proved them wrong. I proved myself right. I cannot put one thing on it, John. I just love this life that I have created. I love this business. I do not. I enjoy. I don't want to be anywhere else but here. So every day I am enjoying myself. I wake up every day. I pinch myself. You want to see the room I'm sleeping in. You want to see the bed I'm sleeping in. You want to see the home that I'm living in. There's an elevator in the home. So I'm on the third floor and I go out and click the button and it goes from the third floor to the first floor. I open up the elevator and I go and eat some breakfast and then we go stretch out in the sun and we have a big pool, a jacuzzi. I'm just enjoying the fruits of my hard work. Gratitude is one of the most strongest forms of power in attracting good things. You know, if you truly feel grateful for the things in your life, I always felt grateful for even the small things. I always used to celebrate the small things. Now I might be celebrating the bigger things, but I always celebrate every little good thing that would happen to me in my life, even before I had any kind of money or any of that. I would celebrate and I would feel grateful for it. And it just gave me more. And this is exactly the same thing that's happening right now. I still remain grateful and more comes.
Somebody said to you, you'll have or you'll be as successful as you are now, what would you have said back then?
I believe you. That's what I would have said. Because I did believe.
Yeah,
I believed in it. I had very few people who told me that. I had a small group of people that would tell me something like that. Other than that, it was just me telling myself.
Yep.
So if someone came up to me and told me that all the way back then, I'd say you're damn right.
I don't know how you do it. You seem immune to pressure. You got an entire nation on your shoulders, and you rise above it once again.
Yeah, I don't just knock them out. I picked around, John. Yeah, I said this. I'm sure you're probably all thinking in your head, this guy is talking absolute dribble. He's not going to do what he says he's going to do. You're probably all sitting there thinking that. But now here we are again. And I done what I said I was going to do. I feed off this. I love this stuff. This is what gives me energy. Saying I'm going to do something. Putting it out there for the world to see.
Good morning, family. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto. Definitely appreciate you all for taking the time to be here. I know we're going to have more people that will be tuning in and tapping in as we go, specifically on YouTube. YouTube has been growing a whole lot, and we're just really excited and grateful that y'all take the time to join us each and every single Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. What's going on Instagram, YouTube, Zoom, Twitter, and all other platforms that we stream live on. My name is Vincent Owens. We have been doing this for 268 episodes today, and I'm really excited because if y'all didn't know, I'm an Atlanta baby. You know what I'm saying? Born and raised in the A on the east side, and you know, there's a huge same, right? And there's a huge opportunity at the forefront for us here in Atlanta, and I believe that we have the passion, we have the culture, we have the experience, and we got the swag to be able to make it happen. So without further ado, man, look, we're going to go ahead and dive into this interview. Again, y'all, please go out and share this. And if you're live on YouTube, Instagram, stick around because you want to hear from this powerhouse, man. This gentleman right here, this young man sitting next to me. All right. How old are you, Travis?
23.
23 years old, man. I can't keep calling him a young man, but you're still young.
Yeah,
all right, because I'm 32. All right, so we just
Yeah,
backwards.
yeah.
I wish I was 20. If I was 23 years old, I would be doing the same thing that you're doing right now, bro. And that is incredible to me because when I was around 23 years old, I actually valued entrepreneurship in the middle of me chasing our dreams, which we've been talking about
Right,
this,
yeah.
and our story is very similar. So
Very similar.
without further ado, family, I want to introduce you all to Travis Sherman, who is the CEO and founder of Dapphubb. I'm going to let him, number one, introduce himself. And before we just fly, before we fly into, the pitch and just kind of what Dapphubb is, I want to start with you because one thing I truly believe and I live by this saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Right. I heard that from John C. Maxwell. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So show the people how much you care and just tell them a little bit about yourself, where you're from, man. Yeah. And how you kind of got into the space of entrepreneurship.
Great. Yeah. So hello, everyone. I'm Travis Sherman. I'm the CEO and founder of Dapphubb. And Dapphubb is the place where people can go to explore blockchain crypto applications and use it to actually incorporate blockchain into their business as well. I'm a graduate of Morehouse College,
HBCU,
and I'm also, I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, but I say like that I'm also from Atlanta, Georgia, because I've been here for most of my life. But who I am, first is I'm one of God's children. I always like to stay prudent and what He wants for me. which I kind of get into when it comes to the story
Yeah.
of how I got here. But I'm surrounded constantly by entrepreneurs growing up in a family. Almost everybody in my immediate family of some sort either has done, has had a business or is currently still doing it, nonprofits and
That's
things like
pretty
that,
crazy, bro.
which is in itself a blessing because
That's
I've
a
got
blessing.
to learn high school, middle school,
Wow.
and learn how business works. But I actually wasn't in tech originally. I was kind of just telling you earlier that initially I wanted to be a heart surgeon when I was in kindergarten. I was like about 15, 16. For a while. It's funny because you actually told me that's what the route that you want to go.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
man.
yeah.
So I went to Tuskegee.
Right, yeah.
You know, so I'm a Tuskegee grad, so HBCUs for
Yep,
sure.
yep.
And it's something about Morehouse and Tuskegee and Howard and Hampton, right? Because these are like the Ivy League
Right.
of the
yeah.
black schools, right? So I'm not throwing shade to nobody else HBCU, you know what I'm saying?
That as well. Yeah.
But you know, Tuskegee and Morehouse are very historic. And you know, you struck me with something when I first sent you the flyer and the information. You know,
Yeah.
you said, make sure that they know I'm an alumni and I'm
Right.
not a student.
Yeah.
And you said that a lot of people don't make it out of Morehouse as
They
graduates, and especially in 4 years, or
Especially in 4
especially
years.
in 4 years.
I was told during NSO, look to your right, look to your left. Most of these people after our first midterm, our freshman year, are probably gonna be gone.
Yeah, yeah.
And about half of I felt like half of our class was pretty much gone after that. And it's funny because these HBCUs that they give grace, right? Morehouse is
Right.
Many are called, but few are chosen, right? So
Exactly.
it's not necessarily that it's easy to get in or easier to get in like in the Ivy Leagues, but as soon as you hit the ground running, you feel that level of pressure and you feel that level of expectation, and it's up to you to go out and meet it.
That's so true.
And I think I had the right system and the right people around me to where I could actually go in, hit that goal of graduate in 4 years because I can do it.
Absolutely. I think, I believe so as well. I believe that, we have everything that it takes. And so you said that a lot of people didn't even graduate from Morehouse or a lot of these schools, period. But then think about it. So some people graduate, the ones that graduated and they got their degree, right? A lot of people aren't even working in the degree that they actually earned, right?
Exactly.
Like I'm a biology degree. I have a master's in public health, right? I was going to be a heart surgeon as well. Very similar story. It was the first time. It was like, I was sitting here like, what? It was kind of spooky this morning. So, I find it very interesting because even when I look at now, how many people have become entrepreneurs and really bet on themselves. Like a lot of my friends are doctors, a lot of my friends are lawyers and people that, a lot of my colleagues, and I look at what I'm doing, and it would be nice to have that guaranteed check, you know what I mean? But I do like the guarantee that I'm building something that will be long-standing, and I believe that that's what you're doing with Dapphubb, and that's why I wanted to specifically interview you, because I think it's very important for people of all ages to see a 23-year-old Black man doing his thing, developing applications, and didn't even come from tech. So what did you actually I guess study at Morehouse?
So I studied in software engineering.
Okay.
So I made the switch. I had a whole meeting like with my family like when I was 16.
Okay. That's early.
Yeah, I mean, because again, I was just following what God wanted me to do, and it was like I need to figure out what I want to really do.
Okay.
And if you guys aren't watching and you guys are in middle school and high school, that's a great time. And college is also a great time to figure out what you want to do before you go into like the real world, which is where I'm at now.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I that I listened and I started to kind of just dabble a little bit, kind of figure out myself. And what I realized is I actually do like helping people, right? This is part of the reason why I wanted to be a heart surgeon was because when I was in kindergarten, I want to be a superhero. And of course, it's not a real job. My mom was like, you have to find something.
Find you a real job. she said that superhero ain't gonna pay the bills in Mr. Incredible.
But I realized, and I was like, well, technology touches everything. And it also has the power to uplift people.
I love that. Okay.
And that was, again, even before I even decided to go to Morehouse, I was still like, that's what I want to do. And so when I got there, I got to Morehouse, there's a phrase, right?
Okay.
You don't go through Morehouse should be going through you. In those 4 years that I let it go through me, I felt more and more empowered to keep going. And then I found blockchain around my junior year.
Okay, how did you do that?
It started off investing through some family friends that I knew my freshman year.
Okay.
But naturally, as I'm in software engineering, I'm learning about the actual tech part of things too.
Yep.
And when I understood the ethos of blockchain technology, which I'm pretty sure like that I will get into, which helps mold Dapphubb as well, right? So making sure that people are empowered in the digital world, the real world. How can we bring more access to more like financial services? All those things. I feel like any HBCU alum or student should definitely should take hold of that part of blockchain. Not the crypto investment is great too, but it's the actual power of this technology and what it can do for your community and your business. And when I understood that,
That's it.
That's when I was like, oh yeah.
But you don't understand that when you first get in.
You don't.
You look at it, you look at crypto, and that's perfect because that leads me in one of my favorite questions. This wasn't even in a notebook. All right. I write all this stuff in a notebook to not ever use it. This would be crazy. But that leads me into the question. So typically the most interesting question for me to ask any of my new students that is coming into Coffee and Crypto Network or somebody I meet on the street, I say, can you describe crypto in one word? What would be your one word to describe crypto? Now, my audience, they know what my one word is, but what's your one word?
So not blockchain, just specifically cryptocurrency.
Specifically cryptocurrency, because most people would say money.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a better way to say it.
Okay.
It's a tool.
I love that.
I'll call it a tool.
It's a tool. It's a tool.
Because money is changing, right? And money right now is also a tool. Money could be used for exchange.
Right.
It can also be used to influence other people. It could be used to
barter.
Whatever. A lot of things. Well, cryptocurrency is a tool that allows you to create value and value over the internet specifically, and then distribute it however you like to whoever you like.
So we already have value over the internet, right? We already have value on the internet. So what are you talking about this extra layer of value? If we already have value, what more value could crypto bring?
Well,
what does it bring? I mean, not good, because it's happening in real time with you. I'm just trying to prep them up for what we're about to talk about.
Yeah. So the best way to explain it is, value is created over the internet right now, right? That's what's great about the current technology of the social media and e-commerce, is that people can actually earn money through doing what they love, making videos and making cinema, podcasting, making music, through streaming, things like that. But the difference is that you don't actually technically create the value, right? So the value comes from
you as the user.
Yeah, so you as a user and you as a creative actually don't create the value.
Right.
It's actually people or the businesses that are paying ads on the YouTube, on Instagram. They're saying, hey, we want to put ads on the platform and we want to target this demographic. And your creations on the internet kind of are funneled into that or take the value that's actually being given, which is the money that's been put into those ads that Google houses or Instagram, Facebook, and that's how it's actually being done. Versus I'd say what blockchain enables is allows you to create your own platforms and your own system to, again, you figure out how you want to bring companies or nonprofits or users bring in value and how you want to distribute it to the people of your community or of your platform. So it's just a little bit different.
I love that. So my one word for for crypto is software.
That's a good way to put it too.
That's my one, because what I've noticed in just these years of studying is like even if you look at Apple, when we think about software, most people don't know most people don't understand the software. Like we use Apple phone, but they don't understand the iOS software. But if you had bought the Apple One, right, the first Apple phone or the iPod, or if you had bought those back in the day, and not this physical item, but if you had brought the Apple stock back when the first iPhone came out versus today, you'd be up way bigger. You know what I mean? When it comes to, so I think the investment side is second. I think that the software side is understanding and separating it, because once you understand that there is no good or bad software, You know,
No,
it's
no.
good or bad people that use software.
right.
And so when people see these scams and things that's happening online, and that's why I love what you're doing, because you have a software, you have a tool, and when you think about the industrial revolutions over time, specifically the last industrial revolution that we've had, or even the first, you know, the picks and the shovels were the tools, you know, and what you're building right now with Dapphubb is a part of the toolkit.
Right.
You know, it's a picks, it's a shovel, and that's why I know I'm talking to the young Bill Gates right now. You know what I mean? Like it's just we're early, you know, we're early. And I think that it's important for me and this entire community here at the Atlanta Blockchain Center to protect you and to make sure that you have everything you need, obviously. And that's why I love this place, because when you think about the dot-com bubble, and you're 23, I'm 32. All right, check this out. In 2001,
I was born.
that's when you were born?
Yeah. I was
Ah!
Oh man, yeah.
I know.
Sorry about that.
Who gets up? I know who gets up on the podcast. I don't know. I just do anything. But like, look, that is crazy. You were born in 2001. So I was sitting in elementary school when that happened, right? When the World Trade Centers happened, right?
Oh wow, yeah.
And then the dot-com bubble happened, right?
Mm.
And you know, I'm in elementary school, so I don't know anything about stocks, right? But imagine if my parents were you know, literate to financially literate to the space, what position we would be in right now, right? And so I think that there's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And you know, Warren Buffett and you know a lot of these other amazing investors, they got wealthy because they understood either the software, they understood what they were investing into. And you know, that's why I love what you do, because you have jumped and submerged yourself into blockchain, and it's bigger than just buying a crypto coin for you, but now it's giving people the access to be able to you know have a tool to get into this space, whether they're a dev or creative or even just a regular person looking something up online. So that takes me into you know, so I'm happy that you went to college, you found your story very early, man. Like a lot of people are very confused, you know, at 23 years old. So
I still am a little bit,
but
I got one
great.
part of my life.
What's the power of mentorship for you?
Man, so that's a great question. It allows the mentee to be guided in the right direction. But you can't, I think one thing that I have to say about mentorship and mentees is that you still, number one, have to be yourself no matter what. Mentor isn't really supposed to change you. They're supposed to kind of guide you in the right direction that they know how. Very similar to how you can't blame your parents for things that they don't know. You can't really blame your mentor for things that they don't know. But what you can do is, as a mentee, I like to absorb the good things that I see and the great things that are, or the things that work. Right. But as a basis layer, no matter who's around me, I always make sure that I keep God first and make sure that his word is first.
Absolutely.
Sometimes things conflict.
Amen.
And if things conflict, at least I know I have some basis layer of some great guidance, right? So I thank God for that. But so initially, I did research my freshman year, and really, actually, I would say in high school, when I started my first dropshipping business, I was looking at tech companies and how they work, and I was researching Bill Gates and things like that. And then I started doing more as I was an active CS major at Morehouse on my own. And I realized, you know, these people aren't doing anything that's really that much different than any other entrepreneur. It's just the timing and what they decide to focus on. Right. So what a lot of people don't know is that Microsoft and Apple are born around the same time. I think they're like 2 years apart. But they actually use the same open source software. At the time in the 70s, open source basically, which is code that anybody can go and access and go build upon and use. Right. At the time, it wasn't bad to take open source software and make it proprietary. And that's basically what, Apple, a lot of people who grew up in the 80s, 90s, they know Apple Macs were using in libraries, scientists, things like that. PCs for Microsoft was mainly used for the everyday adoption for everyday people. And so when I learned that, I was like, well, that's pretty cool. And then I realized I can do that too.
Mm.
And then, but
Mm.
but I saw the gap, and I was like, well, why is it not really a lot of Black people in this space?
Right,
Why is
right.
it, why wasn't it? Because, well, during the 80s and 90s, that's a very tough time for our community, right?
was.
So I understood that. And so that put even more, I won't say pressure, but a little bit more of responsibility to say, well, I have this amazing opportunity, right? I wasn't here for Web 1. I was a kid during Web 2. Web 3, I have a perfect opportunity to take advantage of it. And so,
Wow.
yeah.
23 years old, man. You are a powerhouse, man. I'm telling you. I can, I can see it all over you, man. And I'm excited to see how far this goes. So let's talk about this, because we're about halfway through our interview now. So everybody's gotten to know you, and we've done the icebreaker on Travis Sherman, so everybody knows who Travis Sherman is. Anybody ever mess with you before when you was younger? Go Sherman.
No, so
From your professor.
So
I don't know, it just popped in my head.
initially I had my previous last name was Smith, so they was
Oh,
Smitty.
Okay. Oh, Smitty.
I hated that so much, man.
I don't know if you've ever seen Nutty Professor before.
No, I haven't.
Come on, man. Come on, Travis. All right, we're gonna go to a commercial break. I gotta let him watch. We'll come back in about 2 hours. We're gonna go watch Nutty Professor. We'll come back. No, I'm just playing. But no, it's definitely a great movie though. Eddie Murphy killed it. It's one of the top movies in the world where like I love creativity in our community. That was one of the first movies where somebody was able to play 10 different people in one movie. Eddie Murphy really opened the door for being creative and playing 10 different characters at once on camera and having because did you see Sinners yet?
No, not yet.
You gotta go see it.
Yeah.
You gotta go see it. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan killed it too.
I've heard some great things about it.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't want to get too off topic, but here we go. So Dapphubb, could you explain? So I've done my research, right? And to me, I'll tell you what I get about Dapphubb.
Yeah.
So then I know you'll correct me or add to it. So Dapphubb is a decentralized browser that allows for things that are off-chain, ideas that is off-chain to now be put on-chain. And so when we talk about on-chain, off-chain, we're talking about the blockchain, right? Now, Dapphubb is what I've noticed is you're able to build applications, so decentralized applications on your network. There's I took my notes. There is a crypto wallet, built-in wallet, so you don't even have to have a wallet previous or any wallet experience to be able to get that wallet. I love that feature because it really does help with the user experience, and really because your mission is to onboard 1 billion people.
Yep.
And so now for me, now that I have my favorite browser, before I knew about Dapphubb, it was Brave, right?
Brave, yeah.
It was Brave. But now that I know about Dapphubb, I'm actually I'm on the early list, I'm on the early list and everything. So I'm really excited to use this moving forward and to be able, because I meet a lot of creatives, I meet a lot of entrepreneurs that want to build on chain, and I'm going to be able to tell them, hey, you can come over to Dapphubb and do these types of things. So I know that's very important. So you have an app store. Y'all have a community chat, which I think was very unique, and I wanted to know more about that. I was real confused. One of my big questions was about the community chat, and then you have the Biddle, which if you all don't know what Biddle stands for, what does Biddle stand for in the crypto space? BUIDL.
So the acronym, so I usually relate it to what we do at ABC.
Okay, talk to me.
So a builder isn't somebody who just programs. It's people that use blockchain technology in whatever way, right? Whether you're creative, you're a TikToker, you make art, you make music, you're in finance, anything that you like to make that uses blockchain technology.
Oh, wow.
We called you a builder.
So I'm a builder.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, so seriously, and that's because Web 2 kind of a lot of what's done on Web 2, they kind of categorize people based on what they do. You have influencers, you have developers, all this stuff.
Yeah.
You have the actual owners, you have investors, stocks and things like that. But in Web 3, it's being kind of meshed around.
Okay.
right? There are people who come in that are solely investors that come in and realize I actually kind of like this financial technology, and I start building my own company.
Yeah, exactly.
There's people who are coming, from the arts and music. They say, well, I can create my own platform where I can have built-in royalties come in for me, right? So it's ways where you start however you are and start where you're at and come in and you actually start slowly. It's very contagious,
Okay.
right, to become a builder in this space. And
Yes.
Dapphubb wants to make sure that that process is easy and simple to get started.
So that's Dapphubb's
That's-
sole purpose as of right now. I mean, Ripple started somewhere and then they grew into
Oh
this.
yeah.
So Dapphubb's starting here and you go into other ideas as you go. And so you are a part of the Immutable Founders,
Right.
which was a cohort. And which cohort are you?
Cohort 3.
You're cohort 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so you was really early. How many cohorts are there? Do you know roughly?
I want to say there's 5.
Oh, okay, cool.
5 right now. I think 6 is going to be in August.
Okay, cool. Hopefully I'll be in 6. That would be dope to have something
Definitely, yeah.
going. So the Atlanta Blockchain Center, what do you all do here specifically? What has this place? Well, we know they don't know what you all do necessarily, not everybody, right? So number one, what does the Atlanta Blockchain Center do?
Yeah.
And how did it help you with building out Dapphubb?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Atlanta Blockchain Center was founded in June 13th, 2022.
Okay.
I met the founder in October, then came to my first event in November. So they have, for the past 3 years, there's been events every Thursday, free food,
Drinks,
music,
yeah.
free drinks, all that stuff. And the Thursday events are built to educate the public that are here in the Atlanta area, right? When people come in from the outer, from Gwinnett, Woodstock,
everywhere,
Macon,
Alabama, bro.
Yeah, Alabama,
yeah,
Florida, even so,
yeah,
North Carolina, I'm trying to think of. We've got people that fly in from Great Britain, people from Malaysia too as well. Good people come here, so it's been a lot of people who just love to come here again, just to learn.
Wow.
And so we have dedicated speakers that come in and talk about these certain topics, right? Whether it's about the government regulation, it could be about taxes.
We talked about VeChain last week, and
VeChain. It could be about clothing brands, and Web3. It could be about actual products, investing, saying safe, meme coins, all that stuff. And then the other part of it is the community events are meant to get people more comfortable in this space, right? And then again, similar to Dapphubb, which is kind of really, I kind of took this from ABC, is that the founder, Marvin Williams, wants people to actually start building, right?
Okay.
Our goal is to be a top 10 hub for blockchain innovation in the world. Right?
In the world.
And
in 5 years.
In 5 years, specifically. We're 3 years in, right?
3 years in.
And so we're going to get there. And our thesis here is we're going to get there by allowing people to create companies that are natively here in Atlanta. Atlanta's already known for being it's like the fintech hub. Much, right?
Yeah.
7 out of 10 transactions that you use with your debit card or your credit card comes through the infrastructure here in Atlanta, right? So it really kind of makes sense.
Tell them that one more time. Give them that stat one more time.
So 7 out of 10 transactions that you use with your debit card, right, whether it's online or in person, it comes to the infrastructure here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Sheesh.
Right. And so it just makes sense that with the future of money and the way it's changing, using blockchain technology, that this should be one of the top hubs. It should be one of the top cities for this technology because it's just moving forward.
Man, that was, bro, you laid that out eloquently, man.
I'm not done yet. So,
my bad. All right,
okay, so the Immutable Founders is it's an incubator, right, where you have resources, we have great people who have advisors, people from Coinbase Ventures, legal, government that come in and actually they can either, like me, I had an idea on a white paper drawn up on my Surface, kind of how I want Dapphubb as like a home screen. I came in with just a Genesis, right? Some people come in with Web2 companies, right? Come in with clothing companies, come in, and it's really for everyone, right? They teach you exactly how to take your business and how it's a bit different building a business in Web3 the audiences and things like that, and understanding your market and your pitch. Your pitch has to be different from when you talk to people, when you go to Web2 conferences and things like that. And overall structure of how that you should be participating. But with that, they also have the Immutable Scholar Program, which is what I went through. So my senior year at Morehouse, after I met Marlon the next semester, while I was graduating, I was doing a lot this spring semester. I was interning at Amazon, leaving the office in Buckhead, coming straight here, because I had to learn more and more about this space.
Watch you. Like, I didn't know you were doing all that on the back end, but dog, you don't miss anything here, man.
So and the scholar program is great because it allows students, like people who are, there are people that was in my class that knew nothing about crypto, people who like me that knew a little bit of it, and get to be immersed directly from the founder of the Atlanta Blockchain Center.
Wow.
So
Mr. Marlon Williams, who, by the way, you all, has been in blockchain technology when the first white paper came out for Bitcoin back in 2010. From my understanding of having a conversation. Marlon, if I'm wrong, my apologies, but I know you were here very early.
He saw the white paper when it first came out. But I don't think he started getting kind of in this space till 2010. So I think it's like a year after.
2010, man. I wouldn't mind being in Bitcoin in 2010.
You
know what I mean? I wouldn't mind.
I was in fourth grade.
Just until things get a little better. 2010, I was entering Tuskegee, man.
Oh, great.
So there was no excuse for me, man. There's no excuse, man. You was in fourth grade. What was I doing, man? I want to talk about what I was doing. All right, so I want to ask you this question because a lot of people don't understand when it comes to transferring from Web 2 to Web 3, there's this era that you kind of have to teeter-totter in the middle, and they call it Web 2.5, right? You're familiar with the term? What does Web 2.5 mean to you as a founder of a Web 3 company? Because I know that you want to scale completely Web 3, but there's still, you have a goal of 1 billion people, right? And you can't help 1 billion people if you leave them all and you don't at least, so what does that mean to you, Web 2.5?
So I think of it kind of, at Dapphubb, we have these 3 pillars, right? Which was on the merch here: explore, connect, and build.
Okay, I was wondering what that.
Saying,
okay, cool.
So exploring Web3, connecting using Web3, and then building Web3.
Okay.
But to take a step back, there are when I first started Dapphubb, there was these audiences that I really, really want to make sure that they get it. First was the everyday consumer, right? Which are naturally going to be Web2. That you can kind of get into Web 2.5. There's also people who have companies, right? A lot of I would define a company as a Web 2.5 as companies that either invest, so there's ETFs, things like that, like BlackRock and Grayscale. They're not really Web 3, but
they're not Web 3,
but they capitalize on it, right?
And that's a good example.
And so those are Web 2.5 companies like Nike that had the dot swoosh. Things that was going on,
stuff, little things like that.
Starbucks that kind of has things like that. Those are Web 2.5 companies, and then even creatives, right? So creatives that I know that don't solely post on like a crypto platform like Warpcast or a crypto platform like Zora, but they still use, I'll define you as a Web 2.5 because you still use YouTube, Instagram, like that, which is fine because we don't, as a founder, I don't expect people to jump off the ship like that. It's that's not how the internet progressed. That's not social media progressed.
They would die anyway just jumping off the ship into the water. So you got to build a bridge, right?
They'll get scammed, right? They'll get scammed and all that. So which is why that in Dapphubb, every feature has scam prevention, phishing, preventions like the browser, the wallet, chatting with people. We have all sorts of measures being built in too as well.
I love it. So I wanted to go over a couple of these things, and then it'll lead me into some other things. But so Dapphubb is is similar to Safari, Google Chrome, right? In the context of it being a browser, right? What makes it different?
So the browser part is that's like the current face and the just the current face of the product, right?
Okay.
Like that's what, people are naturally used to kind of going in and searching using a search engine,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
That's just what people use. Now people are starting to use AI more than search engines.
I know, right? Yeah.
Which is something that we have coming for, after our official launch.
Okay.
But so we have the browser that's kind of the main face of it. Brave has a built-in wallet,
They do.
right?
Yeah.
But Brave search engine isn't really well tuned a lot of times. They're very much outdated,
Okay.
compared to like a Safari or a
Yep.
DuckDuckGo or even a Google. And they have the advertisements, and you can actually earn crypto looking at the ads and
But
things like that.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
It feels Web 2.5 still.
It does, but I don't get even like, okay, I'm supposed to be getting paid in basic attention token right to my Uphold wallet. And I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or not, but they don't be paying me nothing for real, for real.
So
am I not on the right websites? Like, what's going on, Brave?
So the architecture there is still kind of similar to Web 2.
Oh, that's why you're saying it's okay,
right. Yeah. So
you.
the back end is still doing a lot of data processing.
Okay.
Even though that they don't show ads and things like that, they're still processing form of data.
Yeah.
But with Dapphubb, we want to make sure that we have our built-in wallet actually works, right? And all you need is just an email. You have an email, it automatically makes the wallet for you. It's saved locally on your device. And what that means is basically that, a scammer have to get into your actual laptop, which is very uncommon, right? So they everything is saved locally on your device. Nothing is hosted online.
You get private key. You have your private key though, right? That you write down.
All that stuff is locally there. And then when people want to retrieve it, of course, you can go and
retrieve it.
Go and do that, which is very different from if you guys have your crypto on like a Coinbase or an Uphold. You technically don't hold your crypto.
No.
And you don't own it. You don't really get to actually use it.
Right.
And they don't always tell you how to use it.
Right.
But with Dapphubb, we're saying no. We have the capabilities and actually want people to actually start using it, right? Which is there's a ton of different ways to start using it, but that's just kind of our ethos there, and that's how that we like to build our products, and is to make sure people have actual ownership of their data, of their cryptocurrencies.
I love it. I love it. So just so you all can actually see it, I'm gonna actually pull up Dapphubb for you all directly here. I just want you all to be able to actually see the website. Okay. So this is the website, and we're still in beta, right?
Yes. So
when does our soft launch go?
Our beta started in March 2024, and we ended it in December of 2024.
Oh, okay.
We're getting ready for our actual official launch.
Oh, so this is just an early access invitation to the official launch.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So you guys go to dapphubb.xyz and actually sign up. Use your email, and it'll be, then you'll get the notification when everything goes live. Also follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram at Dapphubb_XYZ. But all these companies here that are on our main page are people that we partner with. We partner with $1 million companies in our beta.
Like Starter Labs,
Project Rift, Project Pi, Trouble Swap, Skylark, the base ecosystem. Base, by the way, the little circle one with the white thing in there. So that's actually Coinbase's blockchain. So we partner with them.
Wow, that's huge.
We were invited out to Basecamp, which is where I met a lot of different creatives, a lot of different builders in this space, and we have some common partnerships with them during our official launch. But this is just everything we did. We partnered with Morgan State. I spoke at the HBCU FinTech and Blockchain Conference. That was here in Atlanta last year. Stanford Crypto, which is Coinbase's more of their government advocacy arm too as well. So we partner with them as well. So we made a lot of great traction during that beta, and our official launch, we're ready to go full steam ahead.
Wow. So you've built this out, okay? But I guess for someone who may be a little bit intimidated, right? To get started, right? What are some free resources online for coding or for, building smart contracts out that you would say that you utilized, maybe starting out? I'm sure now you use some things that may be a little bit more advanced. But just for someone that's starting out, that's interested, what are some things that you would say if you were coaching them to help them getting to doing what you've done?
Yeah, so funny enough, I love how we've designed and started to roll out Dapphubb because
Okay.
that's exactly what we want people to do.
Okay.
We want people to actually have no coding experience and actually start building their applications.
Oh wow! So
or integrate it into their business and actually learning. So what we have in a browser, instead of ads, we have these learn and earn experiences where you get to learn about people like Coffee and Crypto, right? To actually come in and learn about what you guys do and learn about your boot camp, things like that. And a lot of people actually be engaged with your community and learn from yourself. Also, companies that are products like a Skylark or like a Uniswap out there that actually want to reward you for learning about how their product works. Right. So things like that is very important. And I think that's what's going to really get us to onboard next billion users is, again, being transparent in how these things are built and how other people can actually utilize their technologies or build their own as well.
Man, that answered question that other question I had, which was what's your plan on onboarding a billion people? Well, we just heard it. Because I think the world operates on incentives, right?
Yeah.
Like the world, people do more when they're incentivized, right? Versus when they're not incentivized. So that's why you see Coinbase and you see crypto.com doing these little things where you can earn crypto and stuff like that.
Like a little 4%.
It's like, it's nothing. But
to us, 4%, 5% is like garbage.
Oh, it's garbage.
Because then, with crypto and with decentralized finance, I'm looking at 20, 30%, 100% APY. But again, like that's more than advanced, right? And so with Dapphubb, when people get a taste of what our product is, and when they get a taste from just bare minimum, people come and start exploring what's in this space, just being curious about what's this in gaming, what's this in fashion, what's this in the arts, finance, infrastructure, where we're assets, stocks, like there's stocks being put on the blockchain now, right? And people that are starting to learn a little bit on Dapphubb. Our hope is that you actually start connecting with other people, right? So you can explore, connect, and once you kind of find your community, the audience, then you have to start building.
Wow.
So that's our whole funnel, and
that's fire.
And those are our 3 focuses.
I love that, bro. So something that I know that you're really big on, and you have no choice, but it's AI, right?
Yeah.
So how are AI agents participating in your business on a day-to-day? Because we talk a lot about AI and the use of that. How's that helping you scale, and how are you going to plan to, I guess, put AI into Dapphubb as a tool to be able to help you scale?
So before I get into AI, there's these things called smart contracts. So
there we go. Yeah.
I wanna talk about the actual workforce industry of Web3. Right?
There we go. Yeah.
There's a report by multiple sources like Vasari and some other ones that have literally, like, there's a statistic that there's like the top billion-dollar companies in crypto have like less than 100 employees. So like things like Tether, right? Tether is a stable coin that stays close to the US dollar's value.
Top 3.
Right.
Yeah. Top 3.
Yes, it's actually the top. Yeah, top 3.
It's right under Ethereum.
Yeah, it's literally the 3rd largest crypto company by market cap, and they have like less than 100 or 150 employees. Dang. So making billions of dollars and
with less than 100 employees,
right? And that's because there's things like AI and the blockchains of smart contracts, which are basically agreements that when this happens, execute this, and they run automatically on the computers that use the blockchain, right? And AI is going to advance that where I don't really need to have a complete marketing team to do everything because, there's like Canva and you have chat now that can make posters for you and things like that.
Man,
it definitely helps. It helps with coding. And so with Dapphubb, we want to have these like browser agents built into as well.
Okay.
A lot of people to do certain tasks, start off very, very simple. And start off simple and then get more advanced. And then of course, building your product, right? So how can you people actually start coding and making smart contracts that are safe? Again, smart contract deal with people's money and assets. So making sure that it's easy and accessible, but making sure it's also secure for other people to use as well.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's a big one. And I knew that you all would have AI agents obviously inside of the business.
You have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really dope. So so how can someone who is a developer, what is the process for them to get in touch with Dapphubb to actually develop their app or be able to bring their app over? Because, well, I guess before we even go there, is Dapphubb a layer 1 or is it a layer 2 project?
Oh yeah. So Dapphubb isn't its own blockchain.
So you've created your own blockchain?
No.
Oh, that's what I thought.
We're not yet. We're not yet.
Okay,
So
okay.
I want to clarify that.
Yeah, please.
Because that's a whole different kind of architecture standpoint, right?
Okay, yeah.
Which I won't get into because it's really technical, right? So,
Yeah.
No, Coinbase has the money to go and they have billions of dollars to go run their own blockchain.
Exactly.
On top of Ethereum, right? In the future, it will be great, but you need to have a use case.
Yeah.
Ethereum was so powerful and still is because it's the blockchain that people build businesses upon.
Okay.
And Dapphubb is one of those businesses.
Okay.
Right. So that's how that's just how the
Your
architecture
ERC20.
EVM, Ethereum virtual machine, all that
EVM,
stuff. So
everything. Okay.
EVM is like using AWS or like a GoDaddy, right? It's
Oh, okay.
that's like that's the actual.
Man, nobody ever said that. That made it much easier to understand.
So EVM is just the computers that your business uses, right?
Okay.
So we use all of the Ethereum ecosystem. So Ethereum and all of the layer 2s like Coinbase's, Optimisms, all the other ones, and then we'll bridge out to Bitcoin and Solana.
You're chain agnostic, so you can multi-chain use case.
Branch out, but one thing I want to clarify is that you want, and something that I learned definitely during the Immutable Founders Fair at ABC, and we talk about it a lot, is when you build a product, you can't spread yourself too thin. You can't go in every single community because every community is different. Every blockchain is different, right? Solana has degens that aren't the same as Base, right? Base has a lot of creatives.
Yeah.
Bitcoin has a lot of more of TradFi, and things like that are in like the regular finance world. So we want to focus on one, and so we decided to focus on Ethereum and the Coinbase ecosystem because Coinbase had to go with their blockchain Base to onboard, connect billion users on chain. We were actually built around this. I came up with the idea around the same time that Base was being launched on testnet, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so we have very like similar missions, so it makes sense for us to partner and just use that.
That was a great answer. Because I was wondering that, and so it's so you all so that will be considered a layer 2.
Well, Dapphubb doesn't have its own.
Well, it doesn't have a token yet, right?
No, yeah. No.
Are you going to release a token? Is that a part of the white paper or?
That's part of our roadmap. Yeah.
Roadmap. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's part of our roadmap, and that'll be how people can actually earn and
That's what I was thinking.
and actually use the app store and things like that. Because in the app store, you would launch your application or launch your product, or launch your clothing store inside the app store if it uses Web3, of course. And people can actually vote on it and have them propose it, right? So kind of like a product hunt, right? Where people can kind of go give feedback on your product, right? No matter if you're experienced or not, people are in this space are hungry for people who are building new things, right? And to not only give feedback, but also potentially even invest in you as well. So that'd be a part of the app store as well.
Okay. So we're in the last 8 minutes. Usually I allow like 1 or 2 people maybe at the end on the Zoom to ask questions if they have anything, so we can see. Well, I guess I was gonna ask, what was your biggest inspiration for this utility? How did you just sit down and just say, all right, this is the use case I want to deal with. I want to deal with browsing. I want to deal with helping people, connect through a decentralized browser. Why this and why not some other use case? Because in blockchain, you start to see a redundancy of use cases, right? Yeah. That's what I want. It's like everybody has a Ripple company, cross-border payments. I mean, we can go Velo, Stronghold, Ripple, XLM, Hedera. They all have the same type of, and to me, it really shows there's going to be a monopoly.
Oh yeah.
In every sector, right? y- your sector, what made you choose, I guess, choose your sector?
So Dapphubb, our sector really isn't, again, browsing is just the current phase,
Okay.
right? But our sector is, I would say, the whole entire onboarding process.
Okay, so it's just
That's our
focused on-
because we're compared to MetaMask and Rabby and Phantom,
okay,
and also compared to Brave and Google and
Okay.
Safari.
because you're both.
Right. Yeah.
Wallet,
So
yeah.
because we have a built-in wallet, also we can onboard, purchase crypto, use
Yeah.
crypto easily, actually own the crypto, but we also want them to actually start exploring these applications.
It
too as
sounds like
well.
a better Pancake Swap, because on
In
Pancake
a way.
Swap there's a browser, there's a wallet, there's
But
even though that's a
we're a
DEX.
browser, right? Yeah. So
DEX.
we're user experience and exploration first.
Okay,
Crypto
exploration.
second, right? Because
Okay.
it's again, you don't have to use crypto for every single thing in Web3. Really, really don't. But for a lot of the powerful tools, then of course you will.
So where do you make money? Like how does Dapphubb actually? I mean, I don't know if that's okay for me to ask, but how does Dapphubb make money? Like
Yeah. Well, so it's we have like 7 different models. The primary
you can just share like
right now is just of course through the creator experiences, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
to come and talk to our audience, like there's a fee for that, and
Okay.
it's a flat fee to actually do that. It was a part of our tokenomics too as well. So
Okay, good.
a part of our token
That's dropping soon. Tokenomics comes soon, right?
Yeah,
It's
so
not released yet.
Yeah, it's not. So and then part of that is also in the app store, making sure people are actually we don't charge you when you apply for the app store, we charge you actually get accepted. So when the community actually accepts your project, then of course it makes sense.
So also Apple Store charges you to even apply? Or some
sure.
Okay. It would make sense though. I mean,
Yeah,
like
it does, and it also, Apple charges for you to even be a developer too, a licensed developer.
What?
Yeah, but
Okay.
but that's because they had the monopoly, right? And they had the platform. But Web3 is really about making sure that everybody has the access.
Mhm.
And once you do good enough, hey, like people like your product, whether we want to be verified in our application or verified in the browser, then yeah, it'd be a payment there.
No, I think, man, I think that we've really took a deep dive into Dapphubb today. I've learned a lot. And I actually understand really what you're doing. That's why I'm grateful for these, because I connect with people all the time. I'm connecting with business owners. I'm connecting. And so now it gives me another tool I can use to help connect the dots for people.
Right.
So again, you all make sure you all please go and sign up on dapphubb.xyz. You can go there and sign up. I mean, everybody should do it. It's free. Just go over there, just
free download.
It's a free download. You know what I mean? So go and do that just in support. You never know what all you will be able to. Thank you all so much for doing that already. Also, is there anything else that you would like to share, before we move into the Q&A segment? Anything like any last words, anything else you feel like people should actually know to be encouraged?
So first, if you're native to Atlanta or the Southeast, I encourage you to come and visit the Atlanta Blockchain Center. We do events every single Thursday, right? And during the summertime, we're gonna be doing a lot more external events around Atlanta and Midtown and things like that. So make sure that you follow Atlanta Chain on Instagram, Twitter X, and you guys can come and support me, Trav Sherman, on Instagram, LinkedIn, and primarily come and support Dapphubb on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Sign up for our early access. We have our documentation out there. And so one thing that I just want to leave out there is that when you're learning about different products like Dapphubb, every product should have a documentation. What that is explaining is kind of basically how things work in their application. Usually in Web2, that doesn't, it's not really a thing. You just go on the app store and you download it, but you don't really know how things are working.
Yeah, right.
You really don't know. And so, you guys can just put the docs inside ChatGPT, it'll tell you everything about us and how everything works. So like that's just an easy way kind of like to understand more if you're curious about the actual architecture and things like that. We're also open to partnerships that are being released. So if you guys have businesses or you guys are creators in any way, please send us a DM on any of the platforms. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I love it. And also, I'm going to add all of your tags,
Yeah.
Atlanta Blockchain Center, everything at the bottom of the video. So you all,
Yeah.
you know, everybody that's watching this video later on YouTube and finding it other places, you'll be able to go directly in the description here in the YouTube and find Trav. So I see that we have one hand that is raised. This is from one of our seniors in the community. He's been here for a long time. With us here at Coffee and Crypto and still learning daily, Mr. Billy. So I'm going to ask you to unmute Mr. Billy. Feel free to come on up. Billy, you're breaking up, sir. Not sure.
Hey, my friends, good morning.
You're breaking up, sir.
I did
All
hear
right.
good morning. So
I was just talking slow.
good
GM, sir. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Billy, you there?
How's this? Is that better? Is that better?
Shoot.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I am. Yes, yes.
Billy's in
We're good.
Mississippi.
Hey,
so
Mr. Sherman and Mr. Owens, it's nice to see.
Yeah, yes. It gets
Vincent learning.
Gets a little. All right. Well, Billy, you there? I can hear you now.
All right. Let's try that. Yeah, I think I'm here.
All right, we're here, Billy. Hey.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, Mr. Sherman, hello. I'm Billy from Mississippi. It is nice to see Mr. Owens learning from people. I mean, he's normally teaching us, but today he's learning from you. And we're learning from you. I did sign up on that early adoption for on Tuesday. I went right to, who was promoting it on Tuesday on Coffee and Crypto. And I participated, signed up. Now I'm going to tell you.
Actually, yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
I'm going to have to look at it now. You have dropped some. So it seems to me like you are build it as they come, guy. I don't. It almost sounded like that Hedera adoption, like not just anybody can come in. We're going to be selective, and I mean, it sounds like you're a really proper, careful individual, and it looks like you're building something that's going to be astronomical. It's good to know that y'all have that kind of support. Here in Mississippi, it's hard to find that. Like you want to change the oil and ride to the blockchain center, because it's so much. It's so much to learn. Now, I'm 63 and I'm learning. I'm spending my days learning instead of working and doing things. Sometimes I just spend all day learning about blockchain and learning about dApps and learning about what all these little three letters words mean, and getting into the space, and oh my goodness, it's just so much to do. But it is so interesting, and so hats off to you, sir. I think that you have something that you're building, but I think that you are that, like, people can build things, but sometimes the builder is not the guy you want to follow. Right. I mean, you've seen those kind of cases. I get some really good information on YouTube, but some of these guys I don't like.
Right. Yeah.
Or I don't follow, or I can, or they're at a different mindset. So you look like the kind of person that I could learn from and follow up. You explain things well. I like that. Just like Vincent, it's a learning center for me. It's actually a free. If anybody is listening, I think this is free. I don't think I paid for this today. I don't think I signed up on your website the other day I don't think you asked me for any money yet. I mean, I'm learning for free. I'm learning for free, free.com. And I think that this thing is interesting enough to keep doing. So I'm in. I like your podcast and have to go back and look at it, sir. I'm, uh, and you can, I don't think I've seen much of it. I always see your head, so that's good. You're shaping up, brother. Looking good.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. You know, it's my first time, you know, I had to cut off the beard, man. I was waiting on somebody to notice it. I didn't know if y'all noticed it. All right, but no, I do appreciate it. Are you breaking up a little
You're
bit,
breaking
Billy?
up.
Your barber's a rich man. Your barber's a rich man.
Oh yeah, my bar.
You
Hey,
go every week, I know.
I met my barber at the Atlanta Blockchain Center.
Oh, oh, I know what you're talking about.
He's
Yeah.
still my barber. Did you get your cut that night? You got your cut that night?
Yeah.
Man, he had me going. I'm like, that's the only barber I go to now, you know. So no, that's dope. But yeah, thank you so much, Billy. We appreciate you. So thank you.
I would like to say something.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
No, wait, that's
Okay,
fine.
you're right.
Thanks, Billy. You know, I want to thank you for your progress. You know, I've heard like that you've been here for quite some time. You know, it's one thing to build in this space, right? And there are a lot of different types of builders, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But part of being a true builder, right, is not only having the hustle, but also having the compassion for understanding that people are very new to this space. And you're not going to get any user adoption by gatekeeping things, scamming people, making things early at $500 a ticket. You know, that, you know, it really doesn't make sense. And so that's why everything that we do with Dapphubb, that we make sure, you know, that it's accessible, right? And, you know, we just want to make sure that when you want to create value and distribute it, how can you do it accordingly and how can you do it safely?
Nice.
As well, yeah.
Love that, bro. I got one more question.
Yeah.
This is actually from one of our younger
Cool.
members here at Coffee and Crypto. Let me ask. This is my boy Zatrick right here. I think he might be around the same age as you.
Yo,
Yo, what up, Zatrick?
what's up, man? I just wanted to tell Trayvon, I hope I said your name correct, but I just want you to know, bro, I think you cool as hell, my brother. I'm gonna keep it a bean, man. You younger than me. I'm 26, but as I was like listening to this, I'm like, yo, this is amazing, bro. Like you really like doing it at a young age, bro. I mean, I'm still young too. I ain't trying to sound like I'm a hook or nothing, but I just wanted to say, bro, keep going. I'm gonna be pulling up to the blockchain center. I've never been there, but I will be there next week. I plan to just come check it out, and hopefully one day we'll get the link. All three of us could be in the room someday, because you know I'm still relatively. I won't say I'm new to the crypto, but I would say I'm new as in turning it into a business level. We're trying to figure out how I can use my abilities to make money with crypto outside of just the normal investing. But I do have a question for you, if you don't mind. What is your favorite crypto?
Oh man, so it's like choosing your favorite kid, man. Like you just can't do it. You can't. You know?
I mean,
So
top three.
I will answer it in a way of every crypto has its own use case. So related to yourself, right? Ethereum again is meant for businesses. So if you're a business owner, it would make sense for you to learn about that crypto and kind of get some of it. Bitcoin is like digital gold. There's only 21 million, right? So you probably want to get digital gold. As a man that wants to have a family one day and be able to support that family, I'm also the eldest child, so naturally I see my cousins and things follow me. Well, I want to set an example, and one of those examples is making sure that I have the right investments, and that's through things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, the top ones like Solana. XRP is used by the banks. If you believe the banks are going to be using crypto, which I believe they are, probably want to get a little bit of that too. So don't become a complete maxi, right? People that only believe in one cryptocurrency. Right?
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact.
And another important thing is, when you have a little bit of time to learn about not only the older ones like the Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, but there's a lot of new ones that haven't seen a bull market yet. Things that are in like the AI agent space, like things that are in AI, like
ZBEC network.
virtuals,
Virtuals, yeah.
AI16Z and things
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Sui hasn't seen, a big boom yet. Chainlink saw one last year, but Chainlink has grown in their business.
Yeah.
So, it's multiple. Again, no financial advice here, but I'm telling you to go and research,
Facts.
these things. Yeah. Oh, and one other thing. It will be confusing at first. Try to stick in the ecosystem. So again, you have a business, figure out what you like, figure out if you like infrastructure, figure out if you like DeFi, which is in finance, figure out if you like gaming, and kind of just, or pick a blockchain. If you want to focus on Solana, there's a bunch of Solana things outside of meme coins.
Layer 2s, yeah.
Solana has a lot of great applications that are being built out there. One of them is like Helium. Helium is a cellular device that is partnered with AT&T. So while you're using the cellular device, which they have a free version, so a $0 a month version gives you like 3 gigs of data and service, and you're earning crypto through that. And if you get the paid version, they pay you in crypto as well. So things like that, just I would say to look more into the real world use cases and things like that. And if you have a little bit more time, then kind of go down the whole blockchain list and see what projects are in a specific blockchain or in a specific niche. So that'd be my advice there.
Zadric, don't you got Helium, right?
Yeah.
I do have some helium. I don't have a helium number, but I do got some helium mobile.
Yeah, hey, it's a free plan. Yes,
they got a free plan now.
Yeah, free plan.
So yeah, I'm Helium mobile all day.
I was gonna say VO been talking about the helium mobile for about I don't know when, man. I'm talking about randomly at the park. I ran to be like, "You got your helium mobile?" I'm like, I had to get the helium mobile. So yes, sir. Appreciate you guys, man.
What's your name in the chat?
Let me see. Just let's check the chat real quick, and then we'll hop up out of here.
You guys can have a question, you guys can put it there too.
Thank you. Great answers, Travis. Paying early wants to earn our payment. Yeah, no, just statements. Okay. All right, cool. Well, I want to say thank you all so much. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for watching this, and for the ones that will catch this video later, make sure you go to the description. Make sure you also smash the thumbs up on this specific video, man, because it really does help us. Like, I want people to be able to just, I want to be a catalyst to, I want Coffee and Crypto to be a catalyst, because we have a goal to onboard 1 billion people as well. My goal for Coffee and Crypto is to be the premier onboarding experience, but more on the educational front, the content creation front. And this lets me know that I need to also be bidding directly on the Dapphubb as well. So I'm going to get up with you for real and figure out how I can connect my network in with Dapphubb, so that as your 1 billion people are coming in, they can also be exposed to what we're doing here at Coffee and Crypto. So thank you, man.
Yeah, and thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for everybody who's watching, on IG Live, YouTube live stream, and here on Zoom. Thank you guys for your question. Thank you guys for your appreciation. I started building Dapphubb during the bear market in 2023. Wow. Nobody was talking, and everybody hated crypto. So I'm used to the hate. But it still does mean a lot to me when I hear people say thanks and just appreciate like what we're doing in this space. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome. So until next episode, I'll see you all on next Tuesday, and we will have another interview with another Immutable Founders member. All right, Mr. Joe. What's Joe's last name?
Joe Lewis. Yeah.
Joe Lewis. Yeah, man, he got a famous name, Joe Lewis. All right, so we will be interviewing Joe Lewis and Skylark, who is literally it's cohort 3. Who's actually that's his frat brother now. You know what I mean? Cohort 3
Project
frat
Pi,
brother. Project Pi. They've actually we interviewed Project Pi.
Yeah.
So Project Pi was the first. So it looks like we're actually going through the entire cohort 3, knocking it out. So that's super exciting. So y'all, we'll see y'all on the next episode. Thank you all so much, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace, and I'll see y'all next time.
See you guys later.